week.
Well, thank you for joining us all. I know you're waiting. Here we are. We are lacking a Virgil. He'll be back shortly. We're also lacking a Tux, so hashtag Tuxtradamus. And no Kelsa tonight. So welcome to the Mistborn Alloy of Law first one-shot. Who knows if there'll be more? We'll be doing this whenever there's no normally scheduled game for the night. And we have a quorum of people.
Most likely when Tux is missing. Almost certainly every time.
I mean, I feel like we come down pretty hard on Tux for this one, but Kelsa is the one who said that they would...
Yeah, but technically Kelsa even gave more forewarning.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. She gave the forewarning. I mean, we knew it was going to come to this. All right, listen. We're spending... There could be people that are like, I don't care about Mistborn, but Alloy of Law, this seems awesome. We need to not riddle them with backstories from my other campaign. Let's talk about this one. Yeah. I'm APGamingREAL. I run another show called Mistborn Ashfallen, where all these people are on or have been on. Let's introduce all of our awesome folks here, except for Virgil, who's very busy.
And very brown.
Yeah, totally brown. Well, let's start with SciFri _.
Hey.
Tell us, who are you, where can people find you, and what do you do?
People can find me at SciFri _ on the Twitters, SciFri without the underscore on the Twitch. I play games sometimes and make jokes. You can probably play games with me and we'll make jokes together. That'd be dope.
I don't believe you.
That
seems like
a...
When Overwatch comes out, I will play Overwatch with anyone.
I will play Overwatch with you.
Sounds dope. Yeah, I'm not up to much this week, except for this came in the mail today. I don't know if you can see it well, but this is a little Kirby action figure.
Oh yeah, no, I can see it.
And the best thing about it is it comes with all these other parts, so you can just take.
Is that Loot Crate or what is that?
You can grab the other face, you can put it on, and now Kirby's mad.
No, you need Meta Knight Kirby. Everyone knows Meta Knight whoops Kirby's ass.
Meta Knight. Kirby's ass if Kirby has his sword power.
Meta Knight.
No, this isn't not a Loot Crate. It's the Nendoroid Kirby from Japan.
I see. I see.
How important.
How imported.
Yeah, that was the joke. Thanks.
Yeah, that's been my week, is messing with this.
Now I just imagine like a desk light over a table in like an empty room, and you're just there with your Kirby doll.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's basically what it is. It's in front of my keyboard right now. Like, you can check my Twitter for pictures of it.
All right. Let's talk to you, Dr. Wreckage. Who are you? Where can people find you, and what do you do?
My name is Dr. Wreckage. I GM, I play, and I design in tabletop systems.
Ooh.
That's right. On Tuesday, the 17th, we will be doing the first episode, barring any catastrophes, of Sunless Sea, the RPG beta that I have designed from the ground up in order to play in the setting of Fallen London, which is a spectacular setting, and you should go look it up and get hyped for that show. Virgil's in it too, which would be a great segue for introducing Virgil.
I know.
But he's not here.
I know.
So instead, I'll talk about...
You should introduce Virgil for him.
No, don't do that.
Do his introduction.
I mean, that's the sort of thing that would fly on my channel because it would be funny, but Arthur rules with an iron fist.
So here's the thing. My name is Arthur Perkins, APGamingREAL. I like to produce things professionally and keep a manner of seriousness.
You make like puns like every other
to it. However, running this channel professionally requires professional people. And unfortunately, I do not inspire professionalism in others, which is why we are lacking a Zircon 5. Yeah. Wreckage, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Dr. Wreckage. In fact, I just tweeted for people to come to this show, but it's not like there's anybody who follows me on Twitter that doesn't already hear. So it's an exercise in, like, I guess, hope for the future. That one day my tweets will make a difference. Am I just trying to fill time
listen,
here?
Wreckage, I started with a Twitter account with no followers. And now I have over 1,000. No, because if you start your Twitter account, you can be like, hey, Arthur, follow me. I'm Wreckage. I literally had no one to follow me when I started.
Yeah, I
I
started.
had
with some
0
kind of
viewers.
buying
I didn't know
followers,
anybody in
so-
the game.
I mean, that's fair. But
You
you
can
also
do it,
then
Wreckage.
did content and people came. And
Speaking of which, I'm only 9 followers away from the big 200. Go over to twitter.com/SciFri.
you have 191 followers?
Yeah.
Why don't we have 191 viewers when our shows go up
I
then?
have exactly 200.
Why don't we have 400 viewers when our shows go up?
These people, you don't understand how Twitter works.
I just hit 200 this week from 201 last week.
That's a great segue into introducing yourself.
Well, yeah, Virgil, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, it's me, Virgil, aka Zircon5 here on the Twitcheroonies. But my Twitter handle is just @VirgilLevenger, so you could go find that little thing somewhere. It might be on the screen. Is it on the screen?
Yeah, it's below you.
Yeah, it's below me.
Well, Zircon5 is below you, not Virgil Levenger.
No,
Right.
that's not below you.
But it's
I
fine.
lied.
If you go to my Twitch, there's all the links and stuff to click over there, so you can check that stuff out.
Click the link to click more links.
Yeah, just
You could go down a link hole.
down the link hole you
Or
go.
maybe a chain of links.
It's
Remember
links all
what
the
I
way
was saying
down.
about professionalism not 3 minutes ago.
Infinite links.
I don't think anything
Look,
unprofessional is happening here.
Wreckage, what you got to do to get Twitter followers is invent stupid hashtags. Like hashtag on toilet.
We've already done that. We had hashtag Wreckage on AP Gaming.
Yeah.
He tries
Yeah.
so
No,
hard to
it's
be
too
good
long.
at that.
It's gotta be snappy.
Yeah,
You
that
got-
would have been so easy if you already had a bunch of followers on the Twitters.
Well, it
Everyone
happened.
go tweet at him at Dr. Wreckage, and then be like, "Just give me a selfie," and just pester him.
I mean, I'll
Yeah,
do selfies.
Aerocyto. Now you make fan art, and now you have a Twitter account. People get
commissions and
Twitch
shit.
Blowing
stuff.
up.
So I wish I had time to get art for this particular. If you watch the actual Mistborn stream, there's a
We have
much
a nice
better
background.
overlay.
Just get a big picture of McCree from Overwatch.
It's
That's
bad.
what I've heard about this setting so far.
Is that what you're going to be playing as McCree tonight? Don't spoil it. We'll get to
Cannot
that in a
confirm
minute.
nor deny whether or not it's high noon.
It's hiding somewhere in the world.
It's always high noon somewhere.
All right.
Technically true.
We're way off course right now. We're so far off where we need to be. Let's go ahead and talk about Alloy of Law. I'm not going to go over and cover everything about Mistborn. You should probably watch Mistborn for that. If you are looking for information about the system, check the description section of the video on YouTube, or head on over to the link I'm providing in Twitch chat right now. Right there, you can pick up the primer, pick up some free rules to give you an idea of what's happening so you can follow along. Alloy of Law is its own system that simply adds another layer of rules for the new era. We're
Like an
jumping
expansion.
300 years in the future. Yeah, it's an expansion pack.
Go over, shout out Crafty Games on Twitter for making Mistborn Adventure game. Tell them that the new media influencers at this channel sent you.
We are. Crafty Games has been really good at working with us for a number of these
I'm pretty
things.
sure. Yeah,
And they have called us new media influencers or digital.
we're signed up on their
innovators.
newsletter. I haven't
Yeah,
been
the
checking
Gamerati.
that.
It's not just them. It's like a whole series of companies.
Have we, I mean, are they aware of the organic growth mediums that we operate in?
Yeah, inside and outside of the box, we've informed
Are
them.
they aware of how hashtag on brand we are?
Yes, and additionally, occasionally on toilet.
Yes.
And also hashtag mustache.
Arthur is just done.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and describe this new world we find ourselves in. So, if you recall in Mistborn, or don't, if you've never read Mistborn or haven't watched the show, it is a world covered in darkness. Ash falls from the sky. Plants don't grow, and when they do, they're not green. An immortal ruler rules forever. But now, we have a new setting. It's been 300 years since Scadrial was remade. 3 centuries ago, with the world teetering on the brink of annihilation brought about by the Dark God Ruin, the humble terrace keeper Sazid took up the power of both ruin and preservation and became a new god, Harmony. Drawn deeply from his knowledge of beliefs and histories of the past, Harmony used the moment of his final ascension to correct the catastrophic mistakes made by the Lord Ruler 1,000 years before. He set the planet back in its proper orbit, correcting the climate, eliminating the need for constant ashfall to protect against the harsh rays of the sun. He rejuvenated the land and restored many plants and animals that had gone extinct. He created a region of bountiful land, and then ringed it with a mighty mountain range to keep it safe from flood and drought. He made what few souls still lived, Ska, Noble, Terraceman, Khandra, and Koloss alike, whole again, and granted them his wisdom in the words of founding. Then he set them free to rebuild what 1,000 years of darkness and terror destroyed. This fresh start is known by modern Scadrians as the origin. The survivors of that apocalypse became the originators, the founding mothers and fathers of a new world, free to shape Scadrial into a place of new opportunities and horizons. They were under the leadership of Spook, now known as the Lord Mistborn, who also made Vin, her beloved Ellen, and the rest of Kelsier's crew became the stuff of legends in this new society, their lives serving as lessons to be learned from, and ideals to be aspired to. Things once lost, faith, self-determination, innovation, hope, returned to the world as the originators carved out their destiny in this new land. The destiny of people of all stripes and species was determined not just by the circumstances of their birth, but by their skill, knowledge, and the merits of their ideals. Together, the founding religions created laws, built cities, and made technological advancements that radically transformed their society. Scadrial today is a much more modern and familiar world, similar to Earth at the dawn of the 20th century, during the last days of the Wild West, but with a distinct Mistborn twist. The great metropolis of Lendl is at the center of civilized world and the seat of government, ringed by smaller towns and further out by the wild frontier. The citizens of Scadrial make their living as craftsmen, scholars, politicians, merchants, pioneers, bandits, and lawmen. Firearms, railroads, electric lights, horseless carriages, and even skyscrapers are now ever-present reminders of the ingenuity of man and the pace of an increasingly modern world. Men and women with the amazing powers of allomancy and feruchemy no longer need to live in secret, but are free to exercise their natural gifts to the betterment of themselves and others. Noble with names like Ladrian, Tekiel, Set, and Yeoman still plot and scheme. Daring criminals still prey on the weak, and crews filled with heroes still stand up to them. So pull on your chaps, load up your vials, and strap on your six-shooters, because this is an exciting new time for the world of Mistborn, the era of Alloy of Law. Wow. Apparently...
This is the greatest handgun ever made.
Okay, yes. We were talking before the stream about Revolver Ocelot and just making him as a character in Alloy of Law. It's totally a thing you can do. By the way, I gotta get it off my chest. The word is Landau for the horseless carriage version of a car. It's called a Landau. People use it all the time. It's a terrible word.
People use it all the time in the 1920s.
I told people, I know there were a lot of spoilers in there, specifically about the name of who is the actual hero of ages. I told people before this, you're going to get the shit spoiled out of you by this.
You could go into the YouTube and beep that.
Here's the thing.
No, if you come here,
yeah,
spoilers.
You should have two buttons. You should have skip intros and skip spoilers.
No, it's the whole stream. Listen, all night is going to be nothing but spoilers.
That's true.
I'm going to have a guy that follows you around. His name is going to be Kid. He's going to be like 7 years old, and he's going to be like, "Hey, mister, you remember when when they had that big battle in Luthadel? It's right here in this book. Let's talk about everything that happened." And you'll be like, "No, shut up, kid." And he's like, "But didn't Sazid punch like 15 people and he grew really big?"
I mean, this is just a ploy to get SciFri to be a murderer.
Yeah, right.
And technically, I'm not supposed to murder people, so I'm gonna have to keep my hands clean.
So we're gonna start this game the same way every game of Mistborn begins, by building the crew. I wanna shame Wreckage here real quick, because Wreckage was like, "I want to build a character real quick." No, bad
What?
Wreckage.
What?
It's the opposite. You start with the crew first.
I didn't know that.
Part of the crew, part of the ship.
No, not that one.
Okay, wrong franchise. Okay.
Yeah.
I because I joined midway of the other one, I didn't realize. I just wanted to get my character down on paper.
So, at the heart of every
Which
Alloy of
our last
Law
session had
story,
Caribbean references as well. It was just good business.
no. At the heart of every Alloy of Law story is a crew, a band of heroes working together to thwart some evil or accomplish some other grand goal. So, what is your crew's common cause? I believe Wreckage had some very specific ideas about being a
Wreckage
robber
had one
baron.
idea, and
He's
I
like,
had
I know of
problem
a
with
woman in
that.
the valley who bakes the best potatoes.
Yeah. So my idea for my character is to be a aspiring villain in a western. A man from a well-to-do family in the South who talks like a Southern gentleman.
But
Who
Acts like a man-child.
sells all of his possessions to try and establish himself as a landowner in the growing frontier. He's going to try and like get himself positioned on some sort of like town that's springing up on the railway or something, or a town that's going to be a trade point between like a new mine out in the front. And basically he's going to muscle his way into a position of political power. And the muscle for that aspirations could easily be SciFri as McCree, Tuxtradamus as Colas-blooded pewter burner, and
It's a lot of words that are unnecessary. Let's cut back to what is the crew?
right. So
A lot of words.
My suggestion for the crew would be, I guess, what does it need, a name or does it need a concept?
It's 3 or fewer words like chronicle the roughs, save our town, uphold the law, undermine our enemies, protect our kin, discover lost wisdom.
Stake our claim. Is that what we want to do? Stake our claim.
That's pretty good.
Get this established.
Stake our claim.
Stake our claim. Okay.
It sounds good with the context and
Can
the...
someone...
So are we the bad guys again?
Who's
in this?
chronicling today? Who's going to be the one writing down our junk?
I don't. We haven't moved to a new page on
Here,
the.
we need a new sheet.
Oh, you're right.
on
You're
the
right.
joint.
So
There
nobody.
you go.
Boom.
Here,
All right.
I'll
All right.
the
So your
con
crew
thing.
concept is that you are staking a claim.
all right.
We're gonna stake
do
our
I-
claim.
Who is your crew's primary target? Who is the most common target of your schemes? A greedy banking firm, a large and dangerous criminal syndicate, a heartless politician, a rival gang of bandits, or something else?
No, it's a sweet old lady that has a small
You
herd of
keep
sheep.
coming back to
If we
this
can
goddamn old
poison
lady.
the sheep, she'll leave and move back in with her son-in-law.
So why don't we?
That's
I'm-
very specific, Virgil.
We
Why
said
don't-
we were going specific, I thought.
Why don't we go?
That's
why don't we get out?
extremely specific.
Why don't we get out in front of this 810 to Yuma and just name a town that we're trying to take
I feel
political
like
and economic dominance over?
from what you've described, there are only a few towns where the railway goes. So all railroads go from the main city, Elendil, out to other cities. The cities do not go to each other. And so part of the political intrigue of the world is that everything must pass through Elendil and thus be taxed, with the exception of Trumadril, which is a city out in the roughs. It's pretty bad. The lawkeeper out there has to have he's a gold compounder. So even though there's only one of them, he has to use his powers constantly to stay alive, i.e., he has to be able to survive being shot in the head multiple times in order to keep the law out there, because all of the criminals go out there. And it's the only location that has multiple rail lines coming into it.
I'm also thinking if we could get control of a bridge and charge for a toll, that would be cool.
So basically, what I want to know is what is the makeup of the frontier, right? So this game, it sizes itself as a Western frontier game. So what actually counts as that?
Did you see the picture at the top of the Alloy of Law thing?
Also,
Yeah,
there's
That's pretty good.
page 29 of the book. Anything beyond the mountain ranges, specifically the northern roughs, gets real westerny. Other cities such as
So there's Trumadil, which is like the big corrupt city. And then there's all these Kavangar, Weathering, Feltir.
Yeah, Weathering is extremely small. It's only got a couple hundred people.
Yeah, that's
right. But all of these are towns that have railways going back to Trumadill, so that a railway can go from Trumadill.
So I'm assuming they're like western boom towns where the railway gets there and people just move.
So what I would like to propose, Arthur, although I will be fine with you shooting this down, I would like that there is some sort of. I would like that my character caught wind, maybe spent a lot of his fortune to learn that there is a new railway going up out in that frontier. And there's a town.
We're getting so far ahead of ourselves here, Wreckage.
Yeah, we're looking at the crew. And
the question is, who is the crew's primary target?
Yeah,
you're making these listen, it's not that what you're doing is wrong in general.
It's old Lady McFanny specifically.
For a role-playing game.
We're going to take her down hard.
The reason
that land.
The reason why I went
name, by the way.
The reason why I went in that direction was because then we could have a town name that we could name as our primary target.
You want an entire town to be the target.
No,
well, because
I'm
if
typing in old Lady McFanny as soon as I can get my text thing.
Jesus.
Don't let him do it, Arthur.
I can't stop him. I'm not the chronicler tonight. Someone has to write it down.
Don't let him do that.
I mean, I don't know what our target should be, so like.
Right, I want to name a town.
Yeah, sorry. We have to take her down before we can do any next target now, because
examples of primary targets are like bandits, the corrupt, banks, government.
Look, old Lady McFanny is a no good, dirty cheat, and everyone knows it.
Can we name our primary target as like politics or economic?
The powerful,
like
a company or business.
The powerful is a good one. Good general one. Or the law is another one.
Yeah, so it's about establishing ourselves in a place of power, right? So how do we turn that into a single target?
The powerful.
Yeah, other people who are powerful need to not be powerful. So
I feel like we're going to have the same problem we had in Ashfallen, where you guys are like, I want to go directly for the top. And I'm like, cool. You're fighting a bunch of house lords. And then one episode later, it's like, all right, we're being chased out of town because we're nowhere near powerful enough to fight them.
Who sounds like they learned a lesson from that?
No one. No,
that's old Lady McFanny.
Of course. I get it. You want to just beat up an old woman.
I want to start small, but you want to like. It sounds like you're asking for a
no.
direction.
We're not asking for like a broad scheme. We're getting like a.
This is literally your primary target. This is the person you're going up against.
Of like what we're about.
Yeah, for now we need this land.
Yes.
All right, so like land. Let's get ourselves.
Old Lady McFanny has the land already.
I really want to name like a small town that we can start to posture in.
But we can't take a whole town. We'll start with Old Lady McFanny. It's close to the bar.
Basically, we're just defining what our characters are about, right? And then like setting it.
How about
so many pages? I mean, you paid good money for all this Old Lady McFanny.
Oh, okay, so can I offer a compromise? Maybe you take out Old Lady McFanny's subdivision, like a small community outside Trumadill that she runs, and once you're there, you've got a foot in the door. It's like having a beachhead into the city.
Interesting thought.
So your first target is Old Lady McFanny.
Okay, Chad agrees. Old Lady McFanny works.
What is your crew's preferred method? Do you wage open warfare or use deception? Do you focus on theft, sabotage, diplomacy, confidence schemes, or do you employ a variety approach?
Oh, I got this one. One of the ones on the examples, this just says bravado.
Another one says lion and cheatin', except the G's are gone, and they just have apostrophes.
What is the word for when my muscle creates a problem and then I pretend to solve it? Like
excessive force?
I think that would be excessive force. It could also be deception.
It's totally deception. It's...
I love how everyone's
this is literally the, old McFanny, your subdivision's been awful plagued by them bandits.
Yeah,
you see that Koloss blood out back? Someone needs to take care of him.
Those Koloss are moving in, and I have the means to stop them.
Every time in Mistborn, we always immediately set ourselves up as the bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem. It's a serious problem.
If you sold your property to me, I would be more able to defend it, and you wouldn't have to worry your pretty little
So
head.
our method is
early.
deception, right?
Yeah.
Deception. Sounds
Deception?
good.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
What was our
You're a
crew
master
name, by the
deceiver.
way?
You can literally just eat people.
What was our crew name, by the way?
You do need a crew name now.
So, I mean, I'm getting ahead of ourselves again, but Kelsa is planning on being my sister. So if my character had a last name, we could then call it the Blank Gang.
And I'm kind of an outsider. That's right.
Right. So you, Tux, and SciFri would all be like our hirelings, I assume. That we are hiring.
Why don't we just call them whatever Wreckage's name? Just call them Wreckage's boys, right?
Oh, that's great.
That's perfect.
Wreckage's boys.
My name is Brieger, and these are my
was the
boys.
Beastie Boys, because I really think Ryman and Steelin should be our theme song.
It's also your method of attack.
Yeah.
You show up and you're just like, old lady McFanny.
Most illest B-boy! Oh, just dropping lyrics and popping caps.
You need to
No
get out of
psych
town
Oakland.
before we hit you in the crown. Gonna take it around. I don't know. What rhymes with orange?
You're not a pretty good poet. Anyway. Yeah, so I guess I'll name my character at some point in this process, and then we will have a really great gang name.
Playing with the boss. All right, now each of you gets to write a concept for what your character is. We already know Kinsey. If you want to start refilling out your Kinsey sheet.
Oh, shit. I was looking and looking and looking for it, and I can't fucking find the one. Even though
I would honestly say go to the last episode where we had Kinsey on and
yeah,
that down.
I was positive though that I was like, I'll take a fucking screenshot of this because I know I'll need it.
Yeah, we have 3 character sheets, or 4, I guess. Oh wait, 3.
No, there's 3 because there were only going to be 3 people.
Yeah. So I guess.
But yeah, Kinsey will be coming back as Kinsey again, although with the new Conjure rules, which are a little different.
Okay.
But he will not be building a new character, of course. Let's talk about SciFri and Wreckage. Who do you all feel like being? What is your concept? What is your 3 words? Sell it to me.
My 3 words are Wreckage go first.
That's a good concept, Wreckage.
My
Your reply?
My concept is aspiring honest landowner. With honest is going to be in little things. That I uphold only the finest of business standards and practices.
SciFri, what's your concept?
Um,
Your concept is just McCree.
My 3 words are it's high noon.
No, it's high somewhere. It's high noon.
It's high.
You know, if anyone watches this without ever having played Overwatch, they'll have no fucking
You're
idea what
missing
any
out.
of you are doing.
Look, all I'm saying is they posted.
What if this
numbers
is
that-
found, like,
look.
someone 30 years from now is watching this, like, now that Mistborn is an award-winning video game, board game, and 20-book-long series, I'm real
You
interested to
want
see
me
what
to
that was like back in the dark days. What is this high noon nonsense? Why do they keep talking about
look,
that?
They just posted the numbers on their Twitter that 9.1 million people played the open beta. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking
because it's
they'll get it.
amazing.
Did you know that if you kill McCree when he turns on his alt as Tracer, and he's like, it's high noon somewhere, and if you kill him as Tracer, she goes, it's high noon somewhere.
Anyway, so
Calvary's here, love.
yeah. I don't. What do I define in the concept? It's been so long.
Summer.
So
Calvary's here, love.
yeah. I don't. What do I define in the concept? It's been so long.
Summarize
that are
your
vague.
character's motivation with the short phrase. What are your character's personal goals? Oh, no, sorry. That's the wrong thing. Whoops. Reverse concept. Your character concept should be short and sweet. Just a few words like wealthy urban fop, angry gunslinger from the roughs, skilled urban gunsmith. Don't worry about the details, just a rough general idea. Now, I think you didn't just want to be a gunfighter, but you also want to be a gunsmith, right?
I don't know what that means.
So, You can become very skilled at gunfighting, but alternatively, you can become a gunsmith, which lets you make alterations to your guns, where you're like, I don't just fire bullets, I fire anti-Koloss bullets that are 6 times larger and carry a giant powder charge.
Yeah, I don't know, because the power I was thinking of going with was Twinborn.
Ah, yes, you want to be a Twinborn. Okay,
Yeah.
so probably the word Twinborn should appear somewhere in this description.
Yeah, well, yeah, so I think my concept is going to
Twinborn
be
Gunslinger is a pretty straightforward concept.
Twinborn Gunslinging Drifter. 'Cause I'm a down-home southern man.
If
who
you
doesn't
throw
really
Drifter
care.
in there, I'm going to expect you to be a drifter, i.e.
Yeah.
one who drifts.
I mean,
But she's drifted into my gang.
Right, and then he's going to drift out again at some point on a train ride, because that's how drifting works.
Well, now, Arthur, we are doing this show when someone is absent.
it's
Yes.
true.
If
No, it makes
SciFri is
perfect sense
absent,
that if
we
I'm not
drifted
there-
away for a little while and then drifted
Yeah.
back.
Very well. You have fictionally positioned yourself well in this argument.
Yeah, he's like, oh, where's that character? Oh, he hitched a train.
So, Virgil, I hate to interrupt your Did you find your old character sheet? Okay.
I found.
We are going to need everyone to re-answer all of these questions to some extent, because the first one's very important. Why did you join the crew? Anyone want to go first? It's 3 to 5 words.
I mean, it's Wreckage's boys, so.
Wait, so this drive?
This is, this is going to be your drive trait. So your traits might be very different than what they once were, because it's been 300 years.
All right.
So I joined the
Oh
crew.
yeah, for those.
I mean,
who don't know,
so
Virgil
Virgil,
played a Khandra in the first one, and they're sort of immortal. So he's playing the same character 300 years later.
if you wanted to, there
I
is
do that in all my games.
there is a trait here that works out very well for you called Heed Harmony's Call, which is, I believe, what we discussed your character would be doing.
Heed Harmony's Call?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I had just put Seeking Worthiness.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's a good one, too. Let's talk about the rest of you. Why did you join this crew?
I joined the crew, i.e., I formed the crew because the honest way ain't the easy way. How's that work?
I don't...
I don't.
I mean, that sounds like you're aiming for a good trait, but it doesn't really describe why you joined the crew. It is a really good drive trait, though, so I might just give that to you. It's a really weird...
I thought it described it correctly. Is that not like I have a gang of men so that I can subvert my political and economic rivals?
I don't know. I feel like there might be a better way to describe that, but I will accept it.
Well,
It's
if you,
good.
I'm
It's good
going to
enough.
hold on.
It's good enough. It's good enough, Wreckage. It's good enough for Sanderson. It's good enough for me.
Is it good enough for Sanderson?
I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, we could
just tweeted it
just
at him.
tweet
He said,
at Brandon
he said,
Sanderson.
"Go ahead."
He tweeted back the thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
So, SciFri,
So, I don't know. I guess
why'd you stop
Being a-
drifting? Well, I mean,
being a southern drifter, you gotta experience the walks of
I know
life.
you guys keep saying Southern, but you are living in the North. So,
Well, the North is the South. The world's upside down. You see.
I'm from the South. I moved up here because this is what
I'm from Elendil, you see, but
You
I'm out
see?
here in Trumadil because y'all are a bunch of uncivilized savages.
I feel like my character.
I presumed that there
Yeah.
was a city-state to the south that we could just say talks like this in order to.
Oh, do let's
I mean,
not
it's
be
a cowboy
hasty.
setting. Everyone talks like that.
Perhaps we just won't get into it.
Kinsey talked like that the whole time. He was just imitating someone else's voice. So, boom, mind blown.
SciFri.
Yeah. I guess my reason for joining the crew is to experience different walks of life. Walk in another man's shoes.
I like walking in another man's shoes rather than experience walks of
Yes.
life.
Because he doesn't buy new shoes. when he
Which
needs them.
brings
He
up
just
the
walks in
question.
another man's shoes.
If you're walking in another man's shoes, what were you doing before this? Which is a question I expect to have answered at some point. Not necessarily now. Oh, wait, that's
was
the
a shoe
literal next
salesman.
question. How
Boom.
did you live before you joined the crew? Boom. Suck it, SciFri.
Let me scroll down to
Go
that.
with shoe salesman.
Life is far more equal today than in Lord Ruler's time, but the world of Scaredrill can be a difficult and dangerous place to get by. How did you make your living prior to joining the crew?
I was still a wealthy landowner.
So, I mean, you were a wealthy landowner. Now
Then I
you're
sold
kind
everything.
of a now you're a
I
bandit
sold everything
thug,
to make this
robber
play
baron.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, wealthy landowner would make a great profession trait.
Yes, it would.
Virgil, what was your character doing before you joined the crew?
Just obeying orders, sir.
So you were
Right.
preaching then.
Yeah, I mean, I just go around and be like, everyone should be worthy of harmony and like seek to have balance and, and I just check people out.
Oh, Virgil's character is the preacher from Firefly.
Shepherd Book.
Yeah.
Thought I'd go
And-
see the world a spell.
Yeah.
Let's never
So-
find out about my past.
Remember the Firefly
Probably would
reboot?
have if the show wasn't canceled.
I mean, yeah. Did you see the tweet from Joss Whedon, where he's like, the Firefly reboot is the two characters who died talking to each other. It's Wash and Shepherd Book talking.
Oh man. God,
So yeah,
that's-
you're preaching
that's
now.
tragedy.
I mean, I don't wanna. You don't have to have been
No,
preaching if
man.
you didn't want to, but if you're seeking worthiness, how did you find worthy people?
I mean, I guess I was like, kind of interviewing people.
You were a reporter.
Yeah.
All right.
Out in the wild,
I
wild
expect
west.
to hear your Wild West reporter. And this is me, Alamansa Jack, reporting from the
He's
front
like
lines.
This
he's
just
like
in
the
from the
frontier.
front,
Yeah. And he goes back to like New York with his journal that he wrote out on the frontier.
Wild news out of Trumadil.
This is great
Man
fun.
shot in the face. Gets better. SciFri. Let's talk about you. What did you do?
A character with that voice.
I think what my character did before he joined the crew was he was a smuggler.
A smuggler,
Because
really?
Being a drifter with not a lot of money to his name, there's only so many ways you can hop yourself on a rare car to see the world.
I imagine he was a smuggler, a cattle rustler, a kidnapper, a bank robber.
I mean,
little
you're
bit of
putting
everything.
words in his mouth. Are you like what kind of smuggler are you? Are you like a wagon smuggler? Are you a railway smuggler? Are you a canal
Definitely
river?
a railway smuggler. He
Okay,
knows-
so yeah, you like get stuff on trains and get it to where it's going without
Yeah.
getting tariffed by
like
Elendil.
because there are people who need certain things transported discreetly, and they're like, "Hey, you want to see the world? I'll get you on a train. All you got to do is drop off this pretty little box at the next town."
Interesting. Yeah, and smuggling is a great way to avoid taxes, really.
Exactly.
Since again, everything has to go through Elendil. If you could hide what it is you're actually transporting, you can pay less or no taxes at all.
So yeah, profession smuggling.
All right. What special skill do each of you bring to the crew? For instance, a vital need that you fill on the team. The gift of gab, away with guns, or just very deep pockets. Examples include Tinker, thinks on your feet, I'm about to sneeze, that's not a trait.
I think that's a trait. It's just a trait that resolves quickly.
It's a complication.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are as simple as good with a knife, and others are as deep as ancient historian. So let's talk about it.
I am a compound luck guy.
So, I mean, but is that your special skill?
Um,
I think your special skill is, like, money, right? You
Well,
make money, you acquire things.
I feel like, especially since it's a thing that he would have always had, it's the thing he does fall back on, right? Like,
Is what, gambler or...
no. So he's, I mean, I guess I mean, how to put that into a thing for the...
Yeah, but it's like, so you have the powers, but like, what does it accomplish for you? Does it make you? Like,
I mean, another thing you could put down is visionary, right? You're leading this crew because you're like, man,
natural
I need
leader
an easy
is
way
one
to
of
do
the
things.
ones.
Natural leader. That, like, yeah, he is a natural leader. Just like all of those Wild West villains are natural leaders. They're just total, jackasses at the same time.
I want to be clear here. I watched Shanghai Noon before the show just so I'd be down on like weird cowboy terminology.
Cowboy Link.
The movie isn't actually that good, but Jackie Chan is amazing and everything, and Owen Wilson is not.
You should have watched some.
Owen Wilson is average in everything. Just boom, right on.
He's the exact middle.
5 out of 10.
Wow, thanks.
I'll accept
That's really nice of you.
He's no Nicolas Cage.
I'll accept SciFri's proposition of natural leader.
All right. Well, SciFri, if you're going to give somebody else traits, what about you? What are you giving yourself?
I'm going to choose quick on the draw.
Ah, well, I feel like that's a trait that's going to see a lot of work whenever you're firing a gun.
Quick. So my quick draw applies. Yes, it applies, McCree. We know it's high noon somewhere.
It's high noon. Virgil, how about you? What special skill do you bring to this crew?
I mean, I'm not really doing the infiltration thing for these
guys. So
guys.
the thing is, as part of the Khandra rules in the new era, you can't really tell people you're a Khandra anymore. That's not a thing. Like, if it was bad back in the day in the Mistborn era, it was bad. But nowadays, it's kind of like your god sitting over your shoulder talking in your ear, and it's like, don't do it. Nope, bad Khandra.
Like, okay. I wasn't even just thinking, roughly about thinking about it, and not even going to think about doing it after that.
He can read your mind, though. So.
Relax. It's like 3 steps removed from doing a thing. So, I mean, I'd assume that I would just want to make myself super useful. Maybe it's just that, I have so much built-up experience that I'm like
your speciality is
like,
jack of all trades.
Yeah, like uncanny luck and like jack of all trades would be pretty good. Like anytime someone's like, well, what do we do with this? And I'm like, well, I know about that.
Back in the day, I used to be pretty good with demolitions, and you're thinking like, yeah, that was about 200 years ago, and everyone's like, oh, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. And
oh, they use this kind of fuse now. I haven't seen that since 18 weeks ago.
Yeah. So I think that's great. Like, I think I'd be taken in probably because every time the boss was like, hey, what's up? Anyone know about this? And I'd be like, yeah, I know.
I love the idea that Wreckage's character is like perpetually incompetent. And that you're always like, well, I actually happen to be good at the thing that you want me to do. So,
I mean, would you say that I probably bumped into him by chance?
Yeah, I feel like you got really lucky there.
Yeah. All right. So my specialty
is jack of all trades. The literal one thing that you can't be as a specialist is the one thing you are.
Well, I'm thinking of another way to put it.
I mean, it comes with the territory of being a solid 1,000 years old.
You could put Gandalf down because it's basically I know everything.
Gandalf is a druid, though.
Well, but even Gandalf goes, I have no memory of this place.
That's because he lived, like he's so old. He's like, oh yeah, all these memories up here. I need to sort them sometimes.
Gandalf didn't have a copper mind.
No, he didn't.
I mean, if Gandalf was a ferrochemist, he would literally be wrecking everybody.
He pretty much does literally wreck everybody.
That's true.
It's only the stupid rule. Like, all the stupid rules he has is the only
notice that he disappeared when they had to fight a dragon. Yeah, wrecked everybody, huh?
Yeah.
It took some guy in a fucking roof using his kid as a bow to take down that dragon.
What about, like,
he has rules. What do you want from me?
I don't know. He has rules the same way the Eagles have rules.
No, he's got rules that are literally imposed on him by the celestial beings of the universe. He can only use his full powers against the Balrog because the Balrog is a wizard that fell.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up in the like.
We are so far from Mistborn right now.
Anyway, okay, you got me on the wrong lore.
I think we were waiting for Virgil to give us a like
His
jack of all
specialty.
trades alternate.
Yeah, I'm still working on
Your
on the
speciality
wording.
is.
I
You know
think
what?
It's more
You
like,
know what? As a bard, as a reporter, maybe your speciality is like bardic lore. You're literally
yeah,
just
that's
like,
what I'm thinking.
I
like
know a lot
lore.
about things.
Yeah,
Spout lore.
it's about lore. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Specialty, like
Yeah.
you.
What is your most distinctive feature? Think about the people you know. You can probably identify them with a quick description of their most prominent feature. Now ask yourself how someone in the game world would describe you. So this is how other people describe you. It can be physical, or it can be a mannerism, a pattern of behavior. Some examples are big and brawny, gallows humor, petite, superior air, nasty knife scar.
Can I use mustachioed?
Yes.
I would like to answer this with civilized. Is that a correct answer?
Yeah, I mean that is a pattern of behavior. Yeah. That would be a thing.
I mean, they have argumentative on there as one, so I'm assuming civilized can be that. It's the opposite.
That leaves us with you, SciFri. What you want to do?
I chose one off the list. I chose dramatic flair.
Truly want.
There's literally a halo of red that surrounds you when you draw your gun and you go into slow motion.
SciFri, I know that sounds great, but I want.
I knew.
I want to put a vote in for Steely.
Nope.
Because that's.
It was going to be either that or like
Squint,
fashion.
skint.
play.
You have to have the Clint Eastwood squint, you know.
It was either going to be dramatic flair or lovely face off the list.
How do other people?
Dramatic flair.
How do other people describe your personality? Your character doesn't live in a bubble. He or she is part of a living, breathing world filled with people who judge based on words and actions. Focus only on the most dominant aspect of your character's personality, strictly from the perspective of others. So this is, again, how other people describe how you act.
So maybe, I mean, this would probably be constant forever through my whole life, that people would always call me old-fashioned.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Now, do I need to answer this from the perspective of the face I put on, or the face that the people who
it's
actually
how
know me?
other people see you.
So
Right,
probably not very many people
There's
see
two groups,
Right.
right? There's the group who know who I really am, and the group that I put on for the public, right? Can it be either answer, or should it probably be the public?
It can be either answer, but I mean, when your personality, when you want to call upon that trait, it's going to probably be in that situation.
Right. So I'm going to say that there are so many things that could apply for the public, but the people who really know me know that I am conniving.
That's going to be really hard to pull off when you're trying to be the good guy. So I like it.
Well, I'm not trying to be the good guy now, am I?
I know, but the face you're showing to the public is like, you're projecting to the public that you're like a good guy, and you're here to help old Lady McFanny. So
yeah, and
that's a good trait because thing to do. It's very difficult to use publicly.
Absolutely.
McCree.
I've came up with a character name, by the way.
Okay.
My name is Flint Carson.
Flint Carson, I like it.
That's pretty good.
And my personality is reckless.
Speaking of names, actually, Arthur, not to get us too far off track, is there a page in the Alloy of Law book that does naming conventions?
It's at the end of the character creation process.
Okie doke.
So Virgil gets to skip this part because this is all the things he's already done. Do you have any special powers, like being a Faring, a Misting, a Twinborn, or a Kolos-blooded? Wreckage, I believe you are a Twinborn compounder, right?
Yep, the luck one. I can't
luck.
find the list of metals. Which one is that?
I think it's chromium.
All right.
So, I mean, let's just make sure here. So, Twinborn is when you are both a ferrochemist, which is someone who can store something for later use. So, if you want to be super slow now, you can be twice as fast later for the same amount of time. Chromium allows you to store luck, so you have terrible luck for the time where you're storing it, and later you can pull it out and be like, I'm super lucky. Going into casinos is really tough when you're a known chromium user. Allomancy is where you take a specific piece of metal, you eat it, burn it in your stomach, and then you gain access to a specific power based on that. And if you have the same power, you become what's called a compounder. So if you can both eat chromium and store things in chromium, it's pretty good for you. Speaking of people who fire guns, let's talk to you, SciFri. What is your power?
I was going to choose Twinborn.
Right.
Just because I looked it up before the show and I thought that sounds awesome, way more awesome than just being a regular misting.
Yeah, so what are your allomantic and faring powers?
Okay, so I had the Allomancy one. That's steel, which is the one that allows you to push things and jump really high. And yeah.
So it allows you, it allows you to push metal away from you.
Yes.
Unless the metal weighs more than you, and then you push yourself away from it.
And the science behind that is that you can push metal into the ground, and because the earth weighs so much more than you go up.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So the power that is paired with that in the novels is iron faring, where you can control your weight, which makes it really weird when you start manipulating that.
I think, what was the ferrochemy metal that was the speed one, like go fast?
Steel again.
Oh man, so you could just like dump yourself to
if you are a steel burner, you'd be a steel compounder, which means you would be capable of going fast all the time.
Oh.
Going 200 miles an hour constantly would be no problem for you.
That was my idea of he goes really fast, but where he builds up his speed is just sitting on the train, being a wanderer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to be a steel compounder, your life is about to get pretty crazy. Historically, compounding, having the same allochemical and ferrochemical power is so ultra rare that people who have them are considered desirable resources.
Oh, and Wreckage is also a compounder, isn't he?
Yep, he's also a compounder. Two compounders in one. I'm basically just gonna have to start
snowflakes up in here. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw nothing but Inquisitors at you. I'm just gonna be like, well, it turns out a bunch of Inquisitors survived.
Are there still Inquisitors?
No, there's not. But I'm gonna have to just be like, yeah, there's no other way to stop you people. I mean, you're all compounders and a Chondra, so you literally can't die.
I don't know. I just had a really cool image of running as fast as a train and then jumping onto it.
So all of you, I mean, Wreckage and SciFri, you both have strong powers.
Yes.
So that's a thing.
But with my new advancement, guys, I have effective 18 health. It's crazy.
Are you especially fit, smart, or charismatic? Flint, whatever Wreckage's character's name is, I don't think we've got that yet.
I'm working on it.
Daryl.
No, I was gonna go with I think a first name of Dixon is probably pretty decent.
Your name is Dixon Cider?
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm trying to find a good Southern gentry surname sounding thing.
Jefferson?
Remember, whatever last name you pick is going to be Blank's boys.
Beaumont's boys.
Ooh, that's for Dixon Beaumont. That is so good. And Beaumont's boys is so good.
Well,
Dixon.
Well done, Arthur. Well done.
I know. Thanks.
You fucking hit that out of the park, dude.
Oh,
little chibi Overwatch characters. There's literal just floods of Overwatch on everything. You can't even use the internet without seeing it.
Well, that's because it's good.
I'm just trying to get back. Okay, here we are.
Beaumont's boys.
Yeah, so
Beaumont's boys.
So I assume I still have my same cane and just all the same items, right?
Yeah.
Never lost any of them.
Because you're old-fashioned.
I have a dueling cane.
It's the woods all rotted.
Wait a minute. So what exactly is the nature of a Chondra who survived the apocalypse?
Most Chondra survived the apocalypse.
Oh, that was actually not that big of a deal for them?
No,
Okay.
it wasn't.
Badass, yo.
Yeah, it worked out really great for them. Everyone kind of forgot about how they infiltrated society on every level, so conveniently forgot about it.
Yeah, it's like you had a large debt, and then the bank just like went out of business, and no one ever called you again for it.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
I mean, that's actually literally what happened. You had a large banking debt, and then they called on it. And yeah, I mean, that's actually physically what happened at the end of book 3. So, if you are especially fit, smart, or charismatic, you must answer one of these questions as strong, average, and weak. So, are you exceptional in 2 or more areas, 1 area, or no area in the attributes section? And neither of you can answer strong because you've already done that. So, and with Wreckage being the money, I think that you almost certainly have to take weak.
Yeah, I do take weak here. I am already way ahead of you on this one.
So the question is, SciFri, do you have a lot of material goods, or are you just plain good?
I would say that he is averagely fit, smart, and charismatic.
Okay, all right.
And then, yeah, we have already set it up in his backstory that he doesn't have a lot of
Perfect.
money.
So, as the opposite, Flint is weak standings, and I want to say Beaumont is average standings.
Correct, sir.
Now we have a question that happens to all 3 of you again, because the question is, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you? This is your tragedy. This is where things go poorly. And let's talk about it.
So this is a bit of a thing here because Kelsa's not here, and with her intention of being my sister, I was going to write it as a familial tragedy.
All right, well, just write her stuff for her.
Yeah, that's exactly why it's a problem, Virgil. Thank you for lampshading that.
I mean, she left, right? She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. She was here at the start of the stream, and she had to leave.
So what are your thoughts about that little conundrum then, Arthur?
I mean, I would say make it as broad as possible if you don't want to be specific. I think that if you are specific, Kelsa will probably go with it.
Yeah, she's pretty free-flowing.
So what
and if you want to be specific but not affect Kelsa, just make it that you're like half brother, half sister, and have it be whichever off parent.
I will describe the tragedy from his perspective.
Okay.
My character's perspective, how he took what was going on.
Okay.
And then Kelsa can say, that's not how I took what was going on at all. So I'm going to say that we come from a wealthy family. And our father, who was the wealth source in the family, went through a period of irresponsibility that left me, and again, I'm being vague now intentionally, that left me in a position where I felt that I had to take care of my sister.
That's so terrible.
That family wasn't being taken care of.
So your tragedy is that responsibility was thrust upon you at a young age,
and that I felt abandoned by the father. And
I'm curious. So it could be both, but which one mattered more to you? That you were abandoned by your father, or that you had to take responsibility?
Abandoned by the father, because I'm actually now looking to take more responsibility.
So you literally don't give as much of a shit about having to take care of your little sister. That's just a thing you do.
Right.
You're more mad at dad left you behind.
Right. Yeah. I feel I have responsibility over my sister, which is perhaps.
Well, knowing Kelsa, she's going to show up and just be like, "Well, fuck you. You're not the boss of me. I'm my own woman now. I can shoot guns."
I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think this also sets it up well, too, because, I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, she's not intending to have powers. So she will have
play a normal person.
She will not have sold her family's holdings to move out here. She's probably coming out to visit me and see how things are going. And then I'm like, sister dear, you probably shouldn't be out here. It's very dangerous. And she'll be like, fuck you, and smack me, and then whatever. And it'll be great.
I mean, you don't have to have powers to be good with guns. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
She's the greatest gunslinger in the West.
You need fingers.
Definitely need hands.
Yeah.
That is the thing you need.
Which one of you wants to answer next about?
So I kind of need a little help, maybe. But I was thinking, I don't know how applicable this would be because I haven't read further into the lore. Losing the first contract, would I maybe like feel like I never actually fulfilled the contract, and like how is that, how did that fill out, Arthur? Do you know much about that for the faceless immortals?
They have a new contract with the new god. So, I mean, if you wanted to like be boo-hoo, so the other thing is that Condra lost a lot of memories in between the transition phase.
Okay.
All of them lost their spikes, and so they lost a lot of sentience during that period. So you may not remember the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just like I just have like vague. It's like being mindlessly, it's like almost like mindless torture in like the
like
void.
You remember stuff, but you don't know why or from where. Like stuff like that.
So your greatest tragedy is that you're like missing a large portion of your life, and you want to learn what happened to you during that time. You're like, there was this really nice woman who was super nice to me, but I don't remember her name or what she looks like.
Yeah, or even like when you knew her, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe it was like a loss of time, like a large chunk of time has been like, I have this expansive history, but there's this time right after where the what is it called? The
Calamity?
Calamity. Yeah, where I just have.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's actually called the Catacondre in this. Catacendre. Anyway, it's that thing that happened where a bunch of people died and the world got shifted into a new position.
Condra must be doing pretty well for themselves to make a contract with God.
I mean, it's kind of their thing.
It's true.
Yeah, so maybe I like closely, guard all my memories, but I'm super sad that I just have like these flickerings of like a joyful time where I was,
Oh, has life been hard for you lately? And you're like, I remember a better time, but not really? And I want to know what that's about.
Yeah, like I was. Yeah, it was like I just like have a feeling that I was like stationary and like happy for a while and didn't feel pressured to do stuff other than be happy, and now I can't even remember where I was.
It's rough. That's rough, man.
That's a real hard break.
Yeah, I mean, what? It's interesting because for you, it's like your character's going senile, right? It's like having Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm. Let's not go too hard.
It is for him. He literally lost large portions of his life.
Yeah, it's super scary for a Condra who hasn't,
Yeah, for someone who lives 1,000 years to have like years missing from that memory.
So, SciFri, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to Flint?
All right. I had this picked up.
There was that
You're smiling, so now I'm fucking worried.
It was that one time that it wasn't high noon.
Yeah. Well, the tragedy I picked was my feud with a rival cost me everything.
Ooh. There's rules for pistol dueling, by the way, just in case you didn't see that. It's a social combat where you keep. It's like a gambling game where you every round the winner either decides to call the duel over or keep upping the stakes by increasing the damage pot. And then when you win, you can be like, I'm going to keep increasing the stakes, or I'm just going to be like, I shoot you dead. Because there's +8 damage in that pot right now.
Damn.
Dude, I would be so good at that, but I can't do it.
I know I'm picking a lot of stuff off the list because I don't know the setting too well, but it's good stuff.
We'll come back to your rival in a minute. I want to know who they are and what they took from you. But we need to figure out what your destiny is, everyone. What do you believe is your ultimate purpose? This should differ from your drive trait, though it can be related. This is if everything in your life went perfectly perfect, awesome.
What is the highest position of political power someone can be elected to?
Lord Governor.
Lord Governor.
You want to become the Lord Governor of Elendil.
Lord Governor.
The Lord Regent.
Boom. Done.
Oh, that's actually a perfect one.
What's yours, SciFri?
Circumnavigate the world.
Wow, that's pretty rough. I'll take it. I'll take it. Just wait until we get the airships.
I'm gonna own an airship. Probably not.
What about you, Kandra
We're
man?
gonna stow away on an airship.
We're gonna steal an airship.
So I'm carrying around one of those. We've spoke very briefly about it, and I'm so sorry that I can't remember any of these terms or anything. We spoke about maybe I was carrying around one of these. Did you say it was a
Hemorrhagic spike, the
it's
earrings.
an actual spike?
Yep.
Oh, it's an earring spike. Okay.
Yep.
Looks
So
like a
yeah,
railway spike or whatever.
No, this is a tiny
Or-
one. It's an earring.
Tiny
It just
one. Looks
it's-
like a nail.
yeah.
Nail.
yeah. My destiny is to fuse with nail. No, wait, that wasn't me.
It's Piccolo. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's to deposit the nail.
Okay,
Your
so
hall.
your mission then, so one of these is fulfill my missions to the faceless immortals, but yours is instead a little different. Yours is pick a new Pathian.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to convert someone to the Pathian religion and be like, it's time to work for God now. Except in this case, God literally talks to you in your ear constantly, and it's like, shoot that guy in the face for me, will ya?
Yeah.
I'd do it myself if I could, but I really, I can't bring my hand
No,
on the
but
world.
He could tell you to do it. He can't tell me because I'm a Kandra.
Yeah.
So
You
he
would
can
not be a
tell you
Kandra.
to tell me to do it.
No, he can tell me to spike you, and then he directly tells you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Oh, that's interesting.
A
Yeah.
mind
Yep.
control spike.
Is it actually
Only one
control or
spike
just-
means you can only talk. There's no mind controlling. You need at
Oh,
least
well, I mean, that's pretty mind controlling.
you need 2 spikes for direct intervention.
Like you could spike my character, and I'll be like, "It's not high noon. It'll never be high noon."
I mean, no, I'm saying he doesn't get control of your mouth. He just gets to talk to you. And say,
Oh,
hi. Do you have a moment to talk about me inside your head?
yeah.
So,
No, I don't. Too bad.
It's like a telephone link to.
Twinborns, which both of you are, get an Allomancy rating of 4 in one metal and a Ferrochemy rating of 4 in another metal. If you choose the same metal for both, you're a compounder, which means you can perform compounding and purchase compounding stunts.
Okie doke.
And so if you want to know more about your specific compounding, check page 183. All right, Mr. Kandra. I mean, all of your stuff remains the same in that regard. Attributes. Let's talk about them. Virgil, what are your attributes right now, as Kinsey?
Yeah. Okay. So I have let's go down the line here. My physique is 6.
You're pretty
Okay.
strong. You're stronger than
Yeah.
a normal person.
Charm is 2,
That's
and
terrible.
wits is 3.
Literally,
bad.
your charm is the worst it could possibly be.
My resources is 3, not great. Influence is 4.
Also
Meh.
not great.
Spirit of 5.
That's
so
pretty
doable.
good. That's
Um,
much higher than everybody else's spirit in the other game.
Yeah, my health is a 10. Reputation is a 6, pretty good, and my willpower is an 8.
Are you sure your health is a 10? Because if your
Yeah.
physique is 6 and your resources is 3, that's 9.
I got a bonus.
Okay,
for
all right.
Contract. And then also my new one is regeneration. As long as I don't go like to 0 and actually get knocked out, I can spend willpower to regain health. So
That's
I have an
pretty
effective
sick.
health of 18.
Unless somebody's like, and then I'm going to be mean to you and attack your willpower, and then you're like, oh no, my only weakness, being yelled at. But yeah, that's a pretty sick way of staying alive. Let's talk about you, Flint Carson. What are your attributes here? You are a average attributor.
Yes.
You get to split 11 points. Nothing can exceed a 5.
11 points. Nothing in his 5.
And for you, Mr. Beaumont, you get 9 points. Nothing can exceed a 4.
Yep. 2, 4, 3.
And so for the audience at home, that's 3 different stats. 2, 4, 3. Wow, you're super weak.
Yep.
Wow. Physically, you're basically like, I can't bend this pencil. Carson, come in here, break it for me.
I pay people to do my physical labor.
Of course. Now I understand. You're basically playing Dante Fierro. Now I got it. I
Southern
pay
Dante.
people to do this for me.
Wait, that's not how math works.
Mr. Carson, Yeah, your math is pretty bad. That's
No.
that's 11 points
Okay.
right there. That is
So
correct.
there we go. I have 4 physique, 3 charm, and 4 wits.
So you're a pretty average human being right there.
Yeah,
All
just a little lower charming than everyone else, but that's okay. He's a gruff cowboy type anyway.
All right. Standings are a little different. You can min-max the shit out of standings. Average standings is 11 points. None may exceed 6. And weak is 9 points. None may exceed 4.
Wait, is it really none may exceed 6? I thought it was none
Yep.
may exceed 5.
Nope. It's
All right,
6.
changing things.
Yeah. You can min-max the shit
So,
out of
weak
standings.
Standings is 9, you said?
Yes.
God, I really need to start making characters that are like ready to switch into different groups because I'm always just relying on other. I'm like, I don't need any resources. Someone else will.
I just make characters that have the thing that I want to do. And if I go into another group where somebody else also does that, then
Wait,
that's
is
just
it none may exceed 4 for a week?
Yes.
Okay, so I will have 4 spirit, 3 influence, and 2 resources.
Okay. All right.
I will have 6 resources, 3 influence, and 2 spirit.
All right. The 3 races available are human, Koloss Blood, and Akandra. Obviously, we have no Koloss Blooded. Tux might be joining us after the break as a Koloss Blooded pewter burner.
That's just going to be like
drop
character
that.
creation then. That's going to be
he's
annoying.
Pretty sick right there. Choose a name. And this is on page 96 of Alloy of Law. Our names and commoner names, but it sounds like you guys already got that. You also choose your props.
Right. Now, I need a page for props because I know there's a bunch
Page for props is on page 138 and 447. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Full equipment list is on page 112.
112.
I'm sorry, it's actually on page... Nope. Yeah, page 112. With all of the new equipment. Page 98 as well. We'll have some equipment there for you.
Technology, yeah.
It's just...
Oh, here we go. Yeah, 98. Here, 99 is for like the proper props start.
Yeah, I would start at 98 and 99. Unless somebody's gunsmithing the shit out of something.
What's
You're gonna start there.
Determining factor of how many props we have?
Your resources score. Props are the things you have at hand. You may choose a number of props equal to your resources score. These props may only be chosen from the table on page 98. Note that customized weapons and ammunition cannot be chosen as props during character creation, except if you take gunsmithing stunts.
I'm going to choose myself a gun.
Lasso.
Okay, so I am
amazing.
going to have an aluminum laced Panama hat as one of my props.
You're getting an aluminum laced hat so no one can use weird mental magic on you. Like making you feel like you're a shitty human being. Because it's obviously something
like
you'd
wanna
never
engage
feel
in incest.
on your own.
I kind of want a horse too. Oh God.
Oh, there's so much stuff. Yeah, I should maybe wait.
Oh, leather duster. Perfect.
Yeah,
the
you can
Dueling
get the
game.
Mistborn dusters. Yep.
Carriage, horse,
That's like
carriage.
Aerocyto
Yeah,
fan art in the making right there. Flint Carson in a duster with the Mistborn tassels at the end of it. Stealing his way through the sky, literally moving 200 miles an hour.
Well, there's a mist coat, which is the symbol of Twinborn.
Right, but see, the thing of the mist coat is that they're done cowboy-style leather dusters.
Yeah, but I'm just getting a normal.
Oh, you're getting a
duster.
normal one, so
Yeah.
no
Oh,
one...
the graphic equipment, because I'm a reporter.
It's not the Twinborn one. It just says a long, heavy leather
Okay.
worn by both lawkeepers and bandits. You know, he doesn't want the world to know he's a Twinborn.
I'm
He's just
pretty
simple.
sure you're going to give it away sooner rather than later once you start moving super
Not
fast.
if I pick disguise as one of my props. Oh,
You just put a mustache on.
it's a mask. It's like covers just my eyes.
Oh man.
It's just a
No, it's
small
one
like
of those
it's
face
it's like a strip of cloth with the eyes cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good. Yeah, choices.
Hey,
obviously
glider coat enables limited flight for coin shots. What is that?
Yeah, it's like a wingsuit.
You are a
it
coin
counts
shot.
as 2 props, though.
Yeah, but as a coin shot, you get to do that.
I kind of want to fly. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna take the glider coat.
So you guys are both compounding Twinborn, so you don't get to start with any stunts.
That's okay. I do my own stunts.
You'll want to pick up a compounding stunt at some point, because that's where the game gets crazy. And I really will probably ask you to do it again during the break, but you're both going to want to look at the compounding on page 183 during the break.
Yeah, let me.
So you understand how it works, because it's basically
I
you store energy ferrochemically in a piece of metal, then you eat the metal and you burn it allomantically. And for every 1 charge you burn allomantically, you get 10 more ferrochemical charges, which you can then store in a ferrochemical metal mine and burn again.
This
sounds like a broken ass Minecraft mod.
Yeah, it's pretty broken.
Infinite exchange, anyone?
Yeah, it is infinite exchange, but you have to have enough props, right? Like these guys aren't picking a lot of metal mine props. So it's going to be a problem for them to keep doing this.
Well, thankfully, they have a Twinborn kit, which is a metal mine and a vial.
Yep, it's pretty important.
I should get one of those.
Yeah, it does seem it. Yeah.
I'm just taking a horse, a lasso, and a survival pack.
I feel like I really need one of those.
You could just be a horse, Virgil. I don't know why you'd get one. I love how you're like, yeah. Your character, you literally just play a horse photographer.
Wait, doesn't he have to?
Yeah, you got to be a
person.
You have to be a person.
I'm not sure if I want to. Yeah. Do I want to take a survival pack or just the? You know what? I don't need to survive. I wouldn't need it.
Pack to refill my medals,
so
right?
Arthur, I have a question because it apparently, I mean, it's obviously not a prop. How do we determine whether or not I have like a building or a house that I own?
Resources.
Right.
Oh, that's sweet. Apparently, the name for a steel twin board is called a Swift.
Yes, it is.
I mean, they're pretty swift.
I mean, as a swift ferrochemist, your running speed can go up to 200 miles an hour. You can take 6 steps toward or away from anything in a single beat. And I think 6 steps is capitalized, is 1,000 paces. So that's like 3,000 feet. You can move 3,000 feet in a round.
Yeah. God, I really wish I had more resources. I might take a DACA point off influences so I can actually have medals. I feel like I need that.
So I'm a compounder, and I guess this is probably the time to ask, even though we're going to go over it a little bit more at the break, because we're not quite at the break yet. So my metal mind is the thing that I would then ingest to compound, right? Because I've charged it, then I ingest it and burn it.
So you don't, I mean, ingesting doesn't necessarily have to happen. You can also spike yourself with it.
As long as it's in my body.
Yes. So you could like have a chromium spike that you have like through your arm.
So if I have an earring, does that mean I have it?
So 100 charge is fairly large. It's the size of a railway spike.
Okay.
Or like a backpack made entirely out of chromium.
Includes a single average sized, and then there's large. So 3 bracer or necklace sized metal mines that hold 100. Right. So
it's
okay
big.
then. Well, so then I might actually not be getting Twinborn kits because you could just get, for less consumption of resources, 3 metal mines that charge 100 each.
Right, but if you don't have a misting vial, you can't use your Mistborn power.
Right, because I don't have anything
individually. Yeah.
Right. So the idea is there's utility there, but if I only ever intend to compound.
Ferrochemical chromium is luck.
100 charges of ferrochemical.
Allomantic chromium, I think, is the one that lets you drain other people's charges. It allows you to, if you physically touch somebody, remove all traces of allomantic metal in their body.
Right. So actually, I'm not interested in doing that though very often or ever.
Okay.
So I could just go for metal mines then.
Yeah.
Now, would I need to go with the tiny metal mines to ingest them?
Nope.
Okay.
What's the page for weapons again? Because I know the weapon I chose has like some damage value applied to it.
I think it's 112 when it starts off on weapons. Let's see here.
So I have a question about my
Page 118.
taking a thing.
Yes.
If I was a photographer, would that be like fancy, or are there just tons of photographers?
It's pretty fancy. Like, photography is something that only a few people do, and it's that old style, like, and like a thing of smoke comes out from the flash plate style photography. In this day and age, photography is like 3 pictures on the front page of a newspaper kind of thing.
But yeah, I'd be able to get it on any newspaper with a story if I had.
Yeah, you could just write
right?
back to the Ellendale Daily and be like, I got this really cool picture of this twin-born Swift literally punching someone in the face 200 miles an hour and knocking him into the atmosphere, into space, and he dies, and it's literally in space, and this actually happened. That's a reference to Wrestling Isn't Wrestling.
Good YouTube video.
So, there is a question of what massive amounts of charges at a time.
Right. Yep. Like that's the whole I pitch a single card game to have bad luck for, whatever, and then I can actually burn that into 300 charges as opposed to having to sit there with bad luck for days.
Okay.
Tapping or more charges of chromium allows you to re-roll 1 die after finding a result, but before the outcome is described. And that's for every 10 charges you tap, so you could be like, oh shit, Arthur, I rolled 10 dice, and I'm going to throw a shit fit because they're all 1s, and I'm just going to re-roll all of them by spending 200 charges of fucking... It would actually only be 100 charges, but you'd be like, I'm going to literally just dump all this shit out and be like, what's up, man? I'm re-rolling every single die.
So, Arthur, I have a question.
It's the wreckage protection. That's what I'm going to call it.
I do need that. Yeah, that's actually why I was a compounder, but I don't actually need to be a compounder to use that power. But what is the rate that I store charges if I'm not a compounder?
I think it's like 30 per long break or something.
Right. So I kind of need to be a compounder.
The compounding part of it is going to let you use massive amounts of charges at a time.
Right. Yep. Like that's the whole I pitch a single card game to have bad luck for, whatever, and then I can actually burn that into 300 charges as opposed to having to sit there with bad luck for days.
Okay. I think
that makes perfect sense.
All my stuff like sorted.
All right.
Just sit there with your bad luck doing like a card guessing game with your friend, like you're just like wrong every time.
No, that's exactly what that's what my flavor is. I have a weekly card game with some of the people that I'm trying to schmooze with, and I store luck during it so that I always lose. And then
you only bring a little bit of money though every time. You know you're gonna lose it all.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, I just have the worst luck in cards, and it gives me a reputation as it disarms my opponents because they think I'm bad at a thing. It's a mind
I like
game.
how that's what you think your reputation is. It's probably going to quickly grow to being obvious chromium burner.
Okay.
Why
people aren't dumb. If you're like constantly being unlucky publicly, and then in the open you're like, well, I did happen to get old lady what's her name? McFanny? McFanny? Oh, man, I managed to convince her. That was real lucky, wasn't it? And everyone's like, I wonder if he's ferrochemically chromiuming.
I might as well. I mean, I would like to think that I'm a little more subtle about it, Arthur.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how subtle it is. I had this discussion today with someone on Tavern RPG.
Literally, I just imagined him like on a train ride, like flipping a coin, being like, heads, nope. Tails, nope. Just like hours on end, just like not a single time. Like it's amazing.
And everyone's like, look at that chromium burner.
So
I bet when someone in a train, right, is like, that chromium burner is storing luck right now, I don't want to be on this train.
Yeah. We get attacked by bandits.
Super high chances of dying.
Oh man, that's pretty funny.
So, SciFri, just in case you wanted it later, if you got a gunsmithing kit, you could take gunsmithing stunts as part of your advancement and customize your weapons to use different things, but that's not something you can do to start with.
Yeah.
But it would be pretty cool.
I mean, with resources 4 and the glider coat taking up 2 of them.
Jesus. Well, I hope you got some loose coins that you can bounce off, right? Because without them, you're not going to be able to fly.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just make sure that you get, clips or whatever they're called. I think they're different now, but not
that should
coin
be
shot
in
lock.
my Twinborn kit, obviously.
No, it's specific to coin shots, so...
I was going to have a horseless carriage, but I feel like that would be like stupid. I know I can't technically lose a prop or whatever, or I get it back if I lose it or whatever. But the idea that I would bring something that can be easily stolen out to the sticks of a corrupt and crime-ridden city, I will instead have a horse and carriage.
Okay.
Let's see, where's those props? What are the...
I actually don't know what it'd be called. I mean, if you just want to have a couple random coins, I guess you can. It literally doesn't... Or is it that you can have...
like fucking hair clips and stuff? I mean, it doesn't have to be coins, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's any small piece of metal.
Yeah, I'm not seeing...
I really would have thought it'd be here.
From an old shirt or something, right?
I'm not seeing anything like that.
I am also not seeing it. I guess they just let you do it.
Yeah, so I guess they just assume
coins.
that you're going to have at least, like, a couple coins in your
Oh,
pocket.
nope, there it is. Coppers, horseshoes, or iron bars. Metal objects used by coin shots for steel jumping or as weapons.
Horseshoes.
Yep.
Epic. They do the horseshoe juggling.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to be steel iron to do that, or it doesn't work.
Coppers are what they're called then.
Yep.
So I think what I'm going to do
is
I'm going to ditch the idea of the glider coat because I can already run really fast anyway. I'm going to take the normal leather duster, and I get to take some coppers to...
Okay, so you're using all your resources as props.
Yep.
Got it.
He's basically just Sonic running around collecting rings.
I mean,
right?
that's my like character concept, right? Is like, this is all this guy has to his name, basically.
Well, all right then. So, let's talk about backstories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should also give like a physical description of our character.
Oh, of course. Like, absolutely.
Because
well, it sounds like you've got one, Flint Carson. Why don't you talk about who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
I need to think about the where I'm from and what I do thing first. So maybe someone else could go first, where I desperately try to find where the world map is.
It's on like page 30, 29.
Okay,
well, Kinsey, what have you been doing since the world got destroyed?
Kind of like almost had a vacation, right?
It's been a lot easier life recently. The last 300 years have been like retirement.
Mm-hmm.
No one's tried to kill you on a daily basis. No one owns you anymore. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Other than the brain failures, things have been pretty sweet. But I've decided to really dig my heels in and get around and get to know people, find people and find a worthy person. So I've been going around town to town, and I'm kind of sick of like big cities and big, political drama. So I've been, small places. And going and interviewing people and taking photographs and doing field reporting. It's a new, exciting thing, Arthur.
Okay.
You capture the moment, you write about it, and you let other people know.
Imagine if those pictures were capable of moving.
That's
like
ridiculous. You're a crazy person.
24 pictures per second.
Maybe.
Could you imagine that?
I mean... I'd need to take a lot of pictures really quickly. I don't know how I'd do it. Maybe if I had a good weaponsmith to
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 figure out
design a rapid
To
fire.
a rapid fire
So
photo
this
cannon.
rapidly becomes Alloy of Law, the start of Hollywood in Scabro.
Yeah, someone's gonna make a bet about whether a horse
Virgil
has
just
all.
invents Twitch.
Yeah, it's like a horse has only 2 legs while trotting on the ground. I know I can prove it with my photography. That's legitimately how film was created.
Yeah, good story.
So that's what I've been doing, and I love taking pictures. So I like to do it as much as I can, and just kind of actually making a name for myself. So people will be like, oh, there's this thing happening. Maybe Daryl Hart could come and do a piece on this, new section of railroad being open to the new mine. We want, the people that own the mine want people to know that there's a new place to buy, like ore from or whatever. So yeah, it's not a great living, because I'd spend all my money on photography supplies.
I see.
Yeah, but I think
rough.
then maybe I got a message to come take some pictures and do some work.
You have to do the Lord's work.
And yeah, and so I'm like, you know what? Guy seems like an interesting feller. And he seems taken with my photography. And so Wreckage, how would your guy respond if I was like, well, I'd love to give you a hand, and I have quite a little bit of leeway. People know my name because well known.
I'm sure Wreckage is more like, I can get my name in the newspapers and my face.
Yeah. So, well, I guess Virgil, this is up. I want to know what relationship you want to have with the rest of the crew, because if you're a reporter that I am schmoozing, totally. But are you aware that I have? Because I guess it would be kind of a hard sell that I would willingly allow a reporter to be aware that I'm in charge of my criminal gang that I'm in charge of.
Well, what if he builds up your reputation, makes you into a fake Jesse James almost?
Now, especially because I assume you won't always be joining us, Virgil.
Yeah.
Perhaps the superior relationship there is that you're the reporter that I schmooze to try and get my name in the papers.
Okay. And maybe something happened though. Like something happened, and I was like, someone came in and was like, you stole my shit, and I lassoed them up and beat them up a bit and kicked them out, and you were just like, oh, okay, he's actually chill, he didn't say anything afterwards, he's beat up that guy for me, so maybe you're like, maybe he's
this
guy than I
so
thought.
Is your name Kinsey when you
no
people?
No, so I will be calling myself Daryl Hart.
All right, so I'll think that
Daryl Hart Jr.
Daryl Hart ain't no snitch. That's what I think when I hear Daryl Hart. So
yeah.
I guess we have a sort of budding relationship where I'm trying to test just how corrupt you are, so that I can I can figure out exactly how far I can. And these are my associates that do odd jobs for me, and they're very clearly mercenary criminals.
Just beat up thugs. Yeah, and you're like, better wording of that phrase when you were describing my actions there would be that. I'm like, sure, I'll put that down, send it in with the photos. So you're literally rewriting the news that goes out about you.
I'm testing how far the relationship with Daryl can get me, because I don't know how corrupt Daryl is willing to be, but we're finding out. I'm finding out, is Daryl so corrupt that I can just literally offer him money for things and also tell him that I am a crime lord? Or is he just, is he just kissing up to me to get the big scoop?
Yeah, and so Daryl always wears a big derby hat. Has a big bushy mustache and pretty big.
You're just cosplaying as yourself right now.
No, he has sideburns. And I can't grow
of course.
sideburns.
Huge difference.
No, but he also has piercing blue eyes, and a kind of thin pinched face.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk about someone else. If you're finished? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do some backstory and descriptions.
All right.
Yeah. Who are we doing next, Wreckage or me?
I don't know. You tell me who wants to go first.
Wreckage, scale 1 to 10. How prepared are you?
I'm super prepared.
All right, you go first because I'm
Wreckage
not
literally wrote his character last week. So
I'm gonna link a picture in the Roll20 because I can't link it to Arthur's Twitch.
yeah, it'll get deleted instantly.
Yep. So also it's one of those really ugly links that I should probably make smaller before sharing it. But this is the outfit that my character wears.
I see the words Colonel Southern, of course.
I also see the words mint julep for some reason.
He's got a mint julep in
I'm
his
just gonna imagine you holding a mint julep forever now. You know that, right?
He doesn't. He's not an old man like the man in the picture, but he wears the southern white suit with the bolo tie and the Panama hat, which is basically the southern gentry outfit.
He looks like I'm from Louisiana.
He has both the fancy clothing and the aluminum lace Panama hat necessary to complete that ensemble. But he's a younger man. This is his aspiring career, after all. He has black hair that he slicks back to be really nice. He has a mustache as well, but it's very thin and sophisticated, and he keeps it well groomed and also like hair greased up, right? This is like "Oh brother, where art thou" style levels of caring about how slick and dapper Dan you are. And that's his character description. What else are we doing here?
I dress like a reporter would.
Backstory. I mean, I think we basically got your backstory down. You've been
So
pretty
but
vociferous.
Just to summarize for people who might have.
So just to handle per se like the most recent part of his backstory, he has caught wind of some businessil information. Something big is going to happen out here that's going to change the landscape, and he's getting out here to he's sold a lot of his holdings in the family fortune in order to stake his claim out here, literally. His intention is to put himself into a position of political or economic power so that he can exploit the change that's going to happen here and propel him to further political aspirations. He has left his sister that he feels he had to protect and raise through their childhood. But that is perhaps not the case, or perhaps only his perspective on it. And his sister is nagging him, I imagine, to come out and visit and perhaps be part of this. She's well aware of what type of person I am. That much is certain. So she knows that I have absolutely no intention of making an honest go of my political and business aspirations. So that'll be quite interesting, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Tux will not be joining us for the second half, by the way. So, SciFri, why don't you tell us about Flint Carson?
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit about that fateful duel with your rival that left you wandering the road.
About, you were saying something earlier about the town of Weathering.
Yeah, Weathering is the town that Waxillum Ladrium, the main character of Alloy of Law, comes from. It's kind of small. It's only got a few hundred people. There's only one lawman, Waxillum Ladrium, and it's rough. It's like a bar, and that's about it.
Would there be like some sort of like farm or ranch possibly there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
several. Obviously, people need to have food to live.
Yeah.
Dixon with an E. I was thinking with an O. Whatever.
Well, I don't know how the proper way to say Dixon. I'm not from the South.
I also don't know the right way to spell Beaumont, apparently.
Yeah, that's way off on Beaumont.
Yeah, I mean, you both spell Beaumont wrong. But that's fine.
All right, please spell my name correctly to Ero Saito.
Yeah.
In Twitch chat, you can see how beautifully it looks when you type it correctly.
So my name is BEA Beaumont.
Beaumont's boys.
Dixon Beaumont.
Yeah, that's the name of our crew, Beaumont's Boys.
That's great. I will correct that horrible misspelling on both of my things in the
Pretty
roll
bad
20.
misspelling. Really, really
Yeah.
horrible.
I mean, I'm owning up to it. I make mistakes.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, well, I'm here to
Oh.
correct people's spelling. If anyone else feels like they might be making spelling errors, just let me know so I can make wild accusations.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about
Let's
this.
talk about my character,
Yeah.
Mr. Flint Carson, the steel compounder. Give you like a feel appearance-wise, he
Looks
wears
like
a
McCree.
leather duster around.
Just say McCree.
No, he's different than McCree. I made him different.
Uh-huh.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
He's 6'2".
I swear he's totally
He's a tall,
unique.
lanky man. He wears a big duster that flaps around as he walks. He's got long, unkempt hair that goes down to his shoulders. He wears basically a scarf, a green scarf tightly around his neck. It covers part of his face sometimes if he wants to like pull it up. He's like a young man. He's only 20 years old at the time of the story starting. And his backstory is that he used to work on a small ranch in the town of Weathering as a farm boy until he got into a feud with Rattling Pete McKinley, a notorious outlaw.
Rattling Pete McKinley.
Yeah.
That's the best name ever. Oh, the McKinley boys are going to cause us some
yeah.
trouble.
Him and his boys rolled in and started causing problems. Flint Carson tried to fight him.
I'm curious. Your character is now a bad guy. Is it possible that what you're telling me is from your point of view, or is it the absolute truth that this guy's actually a bad dude?
Criminals don't criminal to each other.
I'm saying
criminal's still criminal to criminals.
I'm saying at some point in his backstory he was a good guy, but this is his experience.
Okay, all right.
World makes a man hard.
Yeah.
This is his
Eventually, world makes a man
Miles moment.
Hard. It ended with basically the entire ranch being burned down and everyone that he had come to like fall in with being basically murdered at the hand of Rattling Pete McKinley.
That bastard.
Yeah.
McKinley's
he, of course,
Marauders.
got away because
Marauders is much better for their gang name.
McKinley's Marauders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rico's Roughnecks.
They rolled into town. They wanted land and they took the ranch basically. And so with nothing to his name apart from his revolver, his duster, his twin-born kit, and a small set of metal discs to use allomancy on, he turned to a life of smuggling and hopped on a train to travel the rails and eventually wound himself up in Trumadill, where we are now.
Oops. I'm curious if that actually changed the... No, I think we're good. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say he does have Django-style clothes, but he doesn't have, like, the hat, sunglasses, or beard that Django has. Oh, yeah.
I actually don't know if this is live right now, the changes I'm making, but I am throwing up a overlay for the dice. I wasn't going to,
but then Tux is not.
But Tux is in here, and I realized that with studio mode, I should theoretically be able to make changes live to the.
So I'm still just seeing the four faces on Twitch.
Good.
Excellent. I've altered the over.
But yeah, that's my character.
Pray I do not alter it further.
That's what he looks like. So yeah, I feel like we can go to a break now and let our
we're gonna go to a break and we'll be gone for like 6 minutes, and when we get back, we're gonna see some.
We're gonna go right into it,
I'm so excited.
We're gonna go right into planning for the next thing we're gonna do.
Oh. Darn.
I know. So we'll be back shortly.
Boo,
let's prepare for that. Thank you so much, guys. Stick around.
This is the greatest handgun ever made.
Jesus. That's literally.